An engineering company known as Artman Autoz is calling on those who don't know what to do with their 1990 vehicles, such as Beetle, 504 Peugeot, Mercedes-Benz, Volvo's wagon, to bring them out for modification. The chief executive officers of Artman Autoz, Engineer Uchechukwu Eugene, made this call at the official launching of 2022 Engineering Expo organized by Federal Ministry of Science and Technology in Abuja. According to the chief executive officer, the company was aimed at modifying vintage vehicles into modern use.
Okay, vintage cars are depending on the country. Some countries will tell you vintage cars are cars from 1985 backwards, some will tell you 1995 backwards, some will tell you 1990 backwards. But in Nigeria here, vintage cars are from 1990 backwards. Not okay, let me say, okay, now modification is when we say modification of vintage cars, we mean, you know, these vehicles, for example, if you use the vehicle that was manufactured 1970, you understand that most of them, they have everything, manual shifts, that's the gear, manual power windows, the manual windows, the key, you just turn the key to start the car, and a lot of manual features even on the engines. But we modify it to make these vehicles drive like cars of today. We install push start, keyless entry, we can change it from automatic to manual, we can rebuild the engine, change from manual gadgets to automatic gadgets in the engine. We don't use all these old model, distributor, contact, those ones are off. We modify them, make the vehicle to drive like cars of today. Then, those days when you start a car in the morning, you keep warming until the engine will be stable. Right now, when you start a car, it steams direct. So that's what we do. We install on these cars, do you understand, to make them drive like the cars of today. That's what I mean by modification. We've modified a lot of Beetle, vintage Beetle, the one we call tortoise car. We've modified 504, Mercedes 240D, 230E, 200. We are currently modifying a 1968 G-Wagon. We're going to make it off-road. Then there's another Beetle that we are modifying right now. That one is going to be, we are cutting the roof to make it convertible, and then full interior upgrade. Everything is going to be, that one is going to carry power steering, automatic drop top.
Speaking on the level of patronage of the modified old vehicles, Engineer Uchechukwu said, Artman Autoz got patronage from those who have value from vintage cars.
Yeah, I have one. I can count about 4 customers that I have. Those guys are millionaires. They don't drive any recent car. They drive only vintage cars. Like the owner of this Mercedes. All his cars are vintage cars. He doesn't have any recent car for himself. He buys for his wife and children, but for himself he drives only vintage cars. So people like that, instead of people like that, they reverse, let me say, they give value, they have the value, they have value for vintage cars, so they patronize us. There are a lot of people like that. They only want to work on the vintage cars. These cars, some of them are in the villages. There are people that have these old cars rotting in their villages. They don't know what to do with them. Now, somebody came here today and said, the moment she saw this vehicle, she said, I've seen what I'm going to do with the old Mercedes my grandfather, not even his father, packed and left in the village. Do you understand? So, that's it.
Engineer Uchechukwu lamented that lack of skilled workers was the major factor affecting Artman Autoz in its innovative ventures.
My difficulties has always been with the staff, my workers. In Nigeria, for some reasons, we lack skilled workers, and I'm encouraging people to go into research. If you know you love technology, you love painting cars, you love working on cars, try to research and know more. Join some companies, join some technicians and try to know more, because the truth is that we lack skilled workers in Nigeria. When you keep training them, the morals, the technical know-how is very poor. So that's a major challenge I have. Every other thing, sourcing for parts, sourcing for the vehicles, the challenge is not that on the high side.
The chief executive officer of Artman Autoz called on people to bring out their outdated vehicles for modification in order to boost the economy. I am Augustus Oche Ifene, Delegate TV, Abuja.